So this is my Mosin Nagant replica sniper rifle, and I'm going to be shooting it in today at 100 meters. When I say replica, that's a little misleading because this scope is a PU scope, and it's set up the same way that the Russian scopes were set up during World War II, in that the turrets, I'll just give you a little closer look here, the elevation turret is marked off in increments of 100 meters. So theoretically, once this gun is shot in at 100 meters, simply by adjusting that top turret to the range required, should keep the rifle on target. You can't really use either turret to make adjustments to the scope itself. The PUs, when they were set up as sniper rifles, they were mechanically adjusted using the elevation screws to set the rifle up initially for elevation, and for side to side manipulation, they would grind out the feet or shim the feet as required to move the scope left and right. So these scopes, when they were put on the original Mosin sniper rifles, each scope was machined to the rifle, and I'll show you that a little later if I have to shim or grind those feet. So anyway, I've got a target set up at 100. I've got the scope roughly aligned. I'm going to fire 3 rounds and see where this rifle's shooting. Stand by. So before I get started throwing bullets all over the place here, I'm going to do a rough alignment to hopefully get the scope roughly aligned with the rifle. And what I've done is I've, using the open sights, I've laid on a target at 100 meters, and I'm going to use the adjustment screws for elevation to get the scope at the right elevation. And I've gone ahead and I've done that, and looking through the scope now with the gun laid on the target, the scope is pointed about a target right of the rifle's point of aim. So I'm going to have to take the scope off the rifle and remove some material from the feet. So in this case, I'm going to have to grind some material off those 2 feet, and I'm going to be using a flat file for that. So I got to move. I just have to move left about 5 inches, so it shouldn't take too much grinding on those feet to get that scope to move over. Okay, that's my first 3 rounds. Not a great grouping at 100, but I expect that'll tighten up. So we're shooting low and to the left. So I'm going to have to I'm going to adjust for elevation first and get rid of the elevation error, and then I'll correct for line. Stand by. So what I did to adjust for elevation from the first group to the second group was I loosened the top screw 1 full turn, and I tightened the bottom screw 1 full turn. So this has brought the group up just a touch high, but I think it'll be okay. I may bring it down maybe 1/8 of a turn. Looks like a whole turn gives you about 10 inches. So anyway, I'll go back and make some more elevation adjustments, and we'll shoot another grouping. So my third group was high. I made some adjustments using the adjustment screws. You can see that my fourth group, I know I had a winger down here, but I think we're pretty good for elevation. I don't think I would have made it as a sniper for the Red Army. Anyway, that's just going to take some practice. I'm fairly confident I'll be able to shoot a real good group here. Just need some more practice. So I just got back to the rifle after shooting that fourth grouping that was really spread out down there. And I'm thinking one of the reasons it probably was that just putting this rifle back together, I should have been checking the tightness of all the screws and fittings on the sight. I got back up here after shooting the fourth grouping, and of course some of the screws had loosened off, so I've just retightened them, and I'm going to fire another grouping. Probably me though. Well, that's more like it. There's a round from group number 4. There's a round from 5 and 2 more rounds from 5. So you see what some of those loose screws on that mount will do. So I've tightened her right up. Still shooting a little to the right, but I'm going to say she's pretty good for elevation. Maybe just a little bit high, but I think we can get away with that. Anyway, I'll mark that off, and I think I may change this skin again, put a fresh target skin on here and carry on. So I've gone ahead and I've made a few more minor adjustments to the mount. I'm happy where it's shooting at 100. I've just moved the elevation turret up to 200 meters, and I have a target, my metal gong, out at 200, and I'm going to fire a couple of rounds just using that elevation adjustment on the turret, and see if it's going to hit the gong. Stand by. So this is the ammo I've been using for all my zeroing and firing, and I'm fairly happy with it. If my eyes were better, I could probably shoot better, so I'll blame everything on me. But what I'd like to do now is see how the issue ammunition, the military surplus ammunition, fires on the Mosin with the zeroing set up for the commercial ammunition. I think it's going to be, if anything, just slightly higher. I put a fresh target skin on the target downrange at 100 meters, and we're going to fire a couple of groupings of each and see where we go. Stand by. First 3 rounds using the civilian ammo, and then the second 2 rounds here and 1 dead center using the surplus ammo. So if anything, I may have to adjust the windage a little bit to the left, but I think they're both good for elevation.